Welcome back to the Queen of TV channel. Now, before we get to our intro, let's get into quick things first. Again, welcome our two new subscribers to the channel. Sorry, I got a little tongue tied there. And they'll be cursing and profaning. If that's not your cup of tea, this channel's not for you. Now our intro. Welcome, my prince and princesses. I am your host, the queen herself, and you, as I've said, is the prince and princesses. You're just a subscriber or you are a viewer. Either way, welcome. Today we're going to do my character thoughts on Elliot Gilbert, Nate, Byron, and Ash Dove, who I'm finna just change a few things. So throughout this video and in the title, if I can fit it, we're talking about Elliot Gilbert, Nate Colton. We're talking about Byron Ashton, and we're going to be talking about Ash Jenkins. Okay? I'm changing Ash's last name. I hate the last name the fandom gave him. I'm calling his last name Jenkins. I'm not finna argue with y'all about this. But the reason why I'm putting all these characters into one whole video is because there's not enough of a lot of the things on my sixth things to look at in this list to determine whether or not I dislike these characters. Now, one of these characters I strongly dislike because of what he represents, but as for the other three, you can't truly hate them, and that's because you don't have enough to assess to hate them. So, out of pity and out of me feeling sorry for them, generally, I've decided to give them all their own very video and go through each and every one of these things I have listed one at a time and talk about them all collectively. Now, we'll be talking about the obvious 6 things that we've spoken about in this Zane video, Kim video, Miriam, and the Charlotte video, which is character development, personality, story outside of the characters, behaviors, relationships, and do the styles represent their characters? The clothes that they're wearing and their hairstyles, basically. So let's start off again with our character development. Now, with Elliot, there really is no character development. Elliot is still himself. He is the sweet, kind, general, loving brother who is also supportive of his sister and his family, and he even continues to stay that way even into season 2. They just add new things to him. They give him a backbone. They give him a rebellious type style. They have him have a secret infatuation with Ricky as she saves his life and even values her as a better big sister than her sister because she's a lot more fun. We don't really see enough of him to say that he needed any kind of different characteristics of a character development. So then that brings us to Nate. Nate is obviously the that type of guy who likes to think about girls' looks, hits on them, talks about their butts, talk about their chests, that type of person. He's all about the looks, okay? He's a sleazeball. He does not have any character development either. He doesn't stop being a bully like Zane does. Matter of fact, he tries to push Zane back into his bully narrative. And when he's flying solo, it just shows that he's a lot more of a bully than Zane is because he has no damn compassion. And that doesn't change. It just gets worse the longer that Zane separates from him after he has moved. So, as for character development concerning Byron I wouldn't say even had any character development to begin with. He was just some guy who loved surfing, who loved animals, and who's more chilled back and relaxed and not really that type of trend setting planner type guy. He was just a regular dude. So not really any character development there. He's just sweet and nice and just around. Now that brings us to Ash's character development. When we meet Ash development seems like it almost mirrors Emma's. That he too is a perfectionist. He too is an overachiever. He too is good at a lot of things, and they both share similar interests. They both have a connection with the horse riding issue. They both have a connection with the Juice Net Cafe. They both are quite smart. They both were in ambitious people. So he's actually having to learn to not only respect Emma's boundaries, but like it seems like to me that this is the first time that Ash has ever been in a serious relationship because he constantly apologizes when he feels like he's done something wrong towards Emma over and over. Instead of them actually just sitting down and having a strong communication, the first thing he does is he apologizes. It does get to the point where he's done with the secrets and everything else, and he starts questioning a lot of stuff, and he does confront her about things that just don't make sense to him. And when she finally does tell him the truth, he accepts her. So his character development is like I wouldn't say non-existent. It's like closer connection to Emma. It helps her open up and be willing to give herself to someone else to be vulnerable. While for him, he's like the first guy that generally would accept her for her and not judge her for it. So that puts him in the third category where his story only remembers Emma's. So let's go into personality wise. Elliot's personality is very straightforward. It is very simple. Elliot is a sweet, kind, loving, honest, and a naive little boy. And he is 12 years old by the end of season 2. I would have liked to have just seen Elliot in season 3 or to at least have him be talked about. But, what are you going to do? As for Nate, his too is very straightforward. Nate is a pervert. And his whole personality is that he's an absolute dick. So there really isn't any other personality that you can even brand him with. The guy is obviously sexist. He not only is that, but he is very shallow. He's quite, and this might be mean for me saying this, a he's quite a bit of a dumbass, if I'm being honest. Um He's this wannabe like gym bro that think he's got his whole physique and life figured out, like he really doing something and thinking all the girls will hit on him. So when he gets rejected, he doesn't accept rejection. He just goes for it, even if the girl isn't interested. Cause we see him do this to the girls like more than the one time. Like he tried to force a kiss on Cleo, even though she was clearly and obviously uncomfortable with him. And then he tries to his moves on her again in episode 15 of season 2 after episode 4 of season 2, and she rejects him again, and he goes to her house using her little sister to bait her into dating him. Her dad has to intervene, and he still tries, and she tells him no again. And once he gets a hold of that ambergris, he doesn't care about the fact that he's stealing Zane's girlfriend. No, he's reveling in it. Saying the girls want him now. Without like questioning as to why all of a sudden that they would be interested in him, even though they've rejected him multiple times. But that just shows you how short sighted he very is. So yeah. Nate's personality is completely awful. With Byron's personality, Byron is more like a permissive parent. He is too chilled back. He's like the type of person that would be a friend to your child. He wouldn't discipline kids. He wouldn't even discipline any of his siblings. Like this guy is so fucking relaxed. Like almost like dangerously like Gordy from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. You remember that TV show from Nickelodeon? So it's like he is too relaxed. And then when he's not relaxed, he makes a fool of himself. So that brings us to Ash. Ash's personality is a calm, patient, reserved type person who wants communication before actually having action. He is obviously a romantic. And not only that, but he has a very strong high tolerance for bullshit more than I do. So he has a all around awesome personality. Now that brings us to obviously the one thing we all should be dreading, which is the story outside of other characters. None of these characters have a story outside of any of the main characters. Out of none of them. Like Elliot's story always has something to do with Emma most of the time. He's had two storylines that had something to do with Ricky. He had literally two storylines that had something to do with Kim. So no. Then there's Nate, whose storylines always revolved around Nate the most, and the girls all put together. Then there's Byron, who has only a story that revolves around Emma, and Ash is the same way. So it's like they don't have their own like story outside of the character. If I would give these characters a story, just like Kim, Elliot's story would be quite boring because he would just be that sibling that lives with Emma. With Nate would probably have like a SA type storyline or at least a pervert type storyline because his storyline would be very difficult to watch, as I don't think a lot of people would have wanted him to have his own story because that's the only way they can give him a story is if they let him display that type of behavior in a TV show. Then there's Byron. Byron would just be the surfer dude that hangs out at the beach, basically. And with Ash would just be a horse rider who became the manager and owner of the Juice Net Cafe. Nothing more, nothing less. And then he'd just be Emma's boyfriend, and Byron would just be Emma's ex. That's literally the gist of their like stories on their own. Now let's talk about their behaviors. Elliot's behavior is very quite pleasant, and he seems like very kind. So you don't really have a reason to dislike Elliot. Now, Nate's behavior, like I said, Nate is a fucking pervert. That then brings us to Byron. Byron's behavior is too damn weak for me. His way of handling things and how to talk and speak and communicate is garbage. Okay, he sucks at reading signs. He always takes things as hints when they're not. He's just too damn like just go with the flow type. He's not taking nothing seriously. Like if you watch episode 11, you see what I'm talking about. He don't take nothing seriously. So that brings us to Ash. With Ash behavior, like I said, is like his personality. He is a patient person. He communicates first. He does not do conflict. When someone has wronged him, you know that you've wronged him because he tells you that you wronged him. He's willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. He's willing to put up with a lot. And hell, from what it seems like to me in this fucking list, Byron just seems like the weakest character of the four. Nate is a character that should have never existed. Elliot is like the brother that anybody would have wanted, or at least a sibling. And Ash is looking like the guy that girls would want. Because this man does not complain unless he has a reason to. Now that brings us to their relationships. Ellie's relationship with his sister is very wholesome, and you can tell that they genuinely love each other. You can tell that she is very protective of him, and that she does care about his interests and wants the best for him, even though he sometimes does not open up to her enough. So when they fight, it's very sad because you don't think that they should be fighting. Now, his relationship with Kim, that girl is toxic. That girl always getting him into some type of trouble, or she's doing some kind of shenanigans. And no matter what he says, she don't listen to him. She acts like he doesn't have a voice. This brings us back to Nate. Nate, relationship with Zane. You know, Nate reminds me of Cam from Mako Mermaids. He does, because when Zach started out, Zach was a nice, good, general guy. He wanted to do the right thing about being a merman. He trusted the girl. I understood why he got mad at them and turned on them later, but like, Cam was like pushing it. Cam was jealous, not of Zach being a merman, but Cam was fucking jealous of his friendship with the girls. So like, he tried to undermine that shit and prevent Zach from even helping them. So he brought the worst out of Zach. He literally proved the mermaids right about Zach being evil, because they generally thought he was because of how he was acting towards them. And that's Nate for me. I think that's why Ricky and like Zane started having more problems. Like, he got back to hanging out with Nate. When he was with Nate, he was a complete asshole. So it seems like to me that Nate is like the devil on his shoulder, and Nate's pushing him to do shit that he shouldn't be doing, and it affects his relationship with Ricky. Not only that, his relationship with anybody for that matter. Now with Byron, his relationship with Emma was just that cute. It was a test run. It wasn't real. It wasn't really a serious relationship. They were just like two people who had a crush on each other, and they decided, oh, let's kiss and date. Congratulations. Um, that relationship was terrible. I hated the relationship. Y'all know how I felt about it. If you don't know, go watch the videos of my reactions. Go ahead. When I talked about them, I talked about them in episode 7. I talked about them in episode 11. I talked about them in episode 21. I talked about them in episode 24. So you'll get a good idea about it if you go watch that episode. Now that brings me to Ash. Ash's relationship with Emma is the most healthiest relationship I have ever seen, because he is so patient with her, and even though she is being an ass to him, like, he literally takes his time with her and tries his best not to provoke her. Now we have Ricky and Zane, whose relationship started off with toxic means and did get positive, but they had a long way to go. We had Emma and Byron, who were just not compatible at all. We got Cleo and Lewis, who are friends who are trying to navigate their feelings as two people who are in love with each other, and we see that they go through a honeymoon phase, and they take a break from each other, and it affects their friendship in a most toxic way because someone involves themselves within their relationship. Her name shall not be mentioned because I'm done talking about her, but they eventually overcome the adversity and their relationship becomes healthy. But like with Emma and Ash, their relationship is healthy because we see two people who clearly have issues. They actually talk about the issues when they can, and if they can't talk about the issues, they try to find a common ground of understanding with each other until they get into the point of where they can fully open up with one another. And they try to respect each other's boundaries, but when they don't respect each other's boundaries, the person actually apologizes and actually takes accountability. Unlike who shall not be known and be said. So, fuck it. I'm just going to bring it up. Charlotte and Lewis' relationship was abusive. So, there's no way around that. Now let's talk about the style, the last thing of the video. Elliot's style's the same as Emma. He wears whites and blues. That's just it. He wears other colors from here and there, but like it's mostly white and blues. Byron is the same way. Byron only wears white. Like this guy only wears like a beachy surfer white type color palette. Like his shit is straight up cool colors. Like blue, mostly whites, and like shorts. He wears black here and there, but like it's barely there. And then for Nate ass is always wearing like shirts that Zayn would have wore, like shirts with patterns, cream colors, and blacks. That's it. Like I just feel like he's trying to be Zayn. And then we have Ash. Ash, who wears black sometimes, even does the t-shirt thing that Zayn does, that Ricky does, where she wears a t-shirt over her like other tee that she got on. Not only that, but like he wears other colors too. He wears blues. He doesn't wear like dark colors. He wears more like neutral colors because he's a neutral person. Like Elliot, who wears colors that make him feel comfortable and confident and like show his innocence and his purity. Like Nate, that shows his dark, perverted side, and Byron, who resonates with his beachy type personality. So, yeah, they totally are wearing the clothes that fit their narrative of their characters, and you know exactly who is who. So, how do I feel about each of these characters individually looking at that? I think that Elliot is just a sweetheart. He is obviously just a third secondary character that just is there if the narrative calls for it. There's no reason to hate him. There's no reason to like literally treat him as if he is an afterthought. You know he exists, you love him, and you have no problems. With Nate is the type of character that people want to treat as the comic relief because you're supposed to laugh at the absurdity of him. But he's nasty. Like, he's fucking horrible. Like, I don't understand why people just don't call it for what it fucking is. Nothing that Nate does is funny. It's fucking embarrassing. It's literally disgusting. And on top of that, it's not something I would want to watch. Like, I would never understand a YouTuber, if there even is one, that would put his scenes, only his scenes, in a video and post this shit on YouTube. Like, I would never watch it. Because just the sight of looking at him makes me physically want to roll my eyes, and as if I'm about to roll in the like, literally, I would rather be in a damn coma than to watch scenes of Nate by himself. No matter if he's got a character in that or not. Okay? Then that brings us to Byron. I don't hate Byron. I just think that Byron is a weak character. I just feel like Tiffany, bless her heart, he's unnecessary. He isn't really needed in the show. He doesn't cause anything. He's just like this person that is there to give Emma something to do besides being a mermaid and going through her control issues. He's a distraction. That's it. Not really that of importance to the stories itself. As for Ash, I love very much. I so much support him and Emma. I feel like he's a better match for Emma. He has more connection with her. He actually resonates with her. He actually fits her. He fits her narrative. Matter of fact, I think when Ash came in the picture, that's when Emma's whole fucking character took a 180. Like, I need fans to look at season 2 again. Okay? Ash showed up in episode 9. Watch episode 9. And he comes back in episode 14. And he sticks around. Watch it. Because even though he had his ridiculous dumbass moment in episode 18 with Zayn, which makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Zayn had 5 episodes. I thought he had 6. But Like, even despite that one episode, he grounded Emma enough to where we actually see literal change in her. Like, this relationship brings out the best in her. It makes her feel able to be more vulnerable. We even see Emma get more vulnerable. We see Emma get romantic. We actually see Emma fall in love, and we believe it. So, despite anything, that relationship was positive enough to where we saw that with the right guy, Emma had a chance to let her hair down. She wasn't as uptight with him. She wasn't like paranoid at first, but then she did get paranoid once, Charlotte showed up. But then before that, like, Emma just was not ready. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. It is about to be the next day when I'm filming this. I'm gonna sit here and like film these videos until I am just done with H2O, because we're supposed to be done with H2O by the 30th of September so we can move on to watch Charmed in the whole month of October. So, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. You have a wonderful day. You have a blessed day. If no one's told you today, I'm telling you, I love you. And I will see you guys in the next video. But until then, bye, guys.